Hi, welcome back to yoga. Today we're going to work with the solar plexus, and we're going to start off with our fingertips together. So just touching each and every fingertip to the opposite. And just taking a few deep breaths here. Allow it to come down towards the solar plexus. So this is right above the navel, below the sternum. And it's a light touching. You're relaxed. The shoulders are relaxed. We're finding a place, whether we're sitting, standing, lying down, does not matter right here at this moment. And we're just taking nice deep breaths in and out of the nose, getting connected with ourselves. Taking a moment to bring it all in. While keeping the hand position here, we're going to move into our vowel sounds for our chakras today. So we'll move through each and every one of the vowels, all the chakras, moving from the root all the way to the crown, and then the crown all the way back down to the root. And we'll do it in one breath. So just come with me on that journey, even if it isn't perfect, it's good. We're going to start off with U, O, I, A, E. We'll do this again in one breath. Go ahead and inhale. U, O, I, A, E. One more time. We're then going to move down. E, A, I, O, U, R. Inhale, we're moving down again. E, A, I, O, U, R. One more time. E, A, I, O, U, R. Just take a few deep breaths here. As we reopen the eyes, hands to heart, we're going to go ahead and come into standing. So whether we're sitting, lying down, we're coming all the way into our standing position. Today we're probably going to use a belt. So make sure you have a towel or a belt handy. Let's go ahead and inhale. Keep those knees soft, hip width distance apart, soles of the feet nice and grounded, toes pointed forward. Lengthen up through the torso. Start to engage the abs here. We're tucking in at the navel towards the spine and we're lifting up. We also have our root lock where the perineum muscle is, where we're drawing inward and lifting upward again through the spine. And as we're grounded, knees soft, hips stable, let's go ahead and start reaching one at a time, just reaching one arm at a time. Allowing the breath to flow in and out of the nose. Starting to deepen the breath as we stretch over. On an inhale here, let's exhale and release. So to add to this, to help with our pelvis floor lifting, we're going to add a block today. So here we come up with a block, maybe a ball. So you can improvise. Remember, it's between the inner thighs and an inch or two above the knees. We're coming back to that hip width distance apart. We're squeezing those inner thighs and starting to tuck in and lift up on the pelvic floor as we lift all the way up through the spine. Let's go ahead and inhale, lengthen through the arms. exhale, bring one hand down, lateral flexion as we squeeze the legs, soften the knees, ground through the feet. Inhale, let's lengthen both arms up. Exhale, lateral flexion to the opposite side, hand comes to hip. Inhale, we stretch and lengthen up. Exhale, we laterally flex to one side. One hand can come to that hip. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, last one. Inhale, lengthen up. Let's exhale, come into a flat back. So we're going to hinge, coming into airplane, palms face down. Reach those fingers back, knees are soft, grounded feet, lengthen through the torso. Nice flat back here. Coming back into the breath. Deep inhale. As we exhale, we're going to sweep into our chair pose. So hinge back at the knees, at the hips. You can draw the arms straight forward from the shoulders, or you could hinge at the elbows. Palms can face you. You also have the option of hands to heart. Taking another deep breath here. Let's exhale, release, hinging back up. Then inhale, lengthen all the way up and over. And exhale again, coming into forward fold this time. Inhale, coming back up into that half back. Lengthen through the back, coming back into airplane as we stretch the arms behind us, palms face down, fingertips lengthen behind you. Let's go ahead and exhale, hinge the knees, come back into chair pose. Keep it here for another breath. And let's exhale. If we have hands at heart, let's twist and just move that opposite direction. So we're just twisting. We're not necessarily hooking onto our leg yet. We're still lengthening through the back and just twisting. Then let's go ahead and inhale back to center. Keep that lengthened back. As we exhale, twist the opposite direction. And let's move back to center. We're going to release the hands, draw all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, palms together, hands to heart. Let's go ahead and remove the block. And as we come back to standing, let's open through the legs, having more of a straddle position. Toes point forward, soften the knees, tuck in the abs. Let's draw the shoulders up to the ears as we inhale. As we exhale, let's roll them back and down. Draw the chin into chest. As we inhale, roll the shoulders forward and up and look up. Squeezing shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, roll them back and down. Draw chin into chest. Again, as we inhale, drawing shoulders up to the ears, we can lift our gaze. Protecting the neck with our shoulders as they come up to the ears. Exhale, let's roll back down, chin into chest. And now we're moving the opposite way. So squeeze the shoulder blades back. Lift the gaze as we bring the shoulder blades up to the ears. Exhale, let's go ahead and bring the chin into chest as we roll forward down. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades back. Start to lift up with the shoulders and the gaze. Exhale, roll them forward, down, chin into chest. Last one, draw the shoulder blades back, up, and exhale, bring it forward, down. Inhale, bringing the arms up and over. Exhale, bring the arms all the way down. Let's pick up the heels or just simply bring the heels in. So now the knees and toes are going to point the same direction as we come back into a squat leg position, hinging at the hips and knees. Taking a nice deep breath here. Take another deep breath as we lengthen through the torso. And then glide the hands down above the knees. We're going to exhale and twist, dropping one shoulder, looking over the other shoulder. Let's inhale through center and exhale over the other shoulder. Inhale through center, keep length in the back. Exhale, just twisting at the shoulders, at the waist. Inhale through center. Nice deep breaths here. Exhale, twist. Inhaling through center. And exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Last twist here. Exhale, twisting. Inhaling, center. Start to bring the arms up and over as we lengthen all the way through. And exhale again, letting the arms float down. Let's bring the toes face forward and come into more of a shoulder width distance apart here. So here we have shoulder width distance apart. Soften those knees, toes point forward, grounded feet. Bring the hands to the hips, take a nice deep breath. We're gonna exhale, hinge at the hips, keep a flat back, soften those knees. We have options here. So we're going to lengthen one leg, bend that opposite knee slightly. You can keep a hand on the knee for support. And we're coming into windmill. So the lengthened leg side is the arm that's going to lengthen upward. Nice deep breaths here. And we're going to exhale, switching sides. So we're going to do this a few times, and I'm going to show different options. Let's bring that first option still, hand on knee, right above the knee, lengthen that opposite leg, knee softens, bends, and let's inhale and draw it up for our windmill. Remember, we keep a flat back here. We're going to exhale. So the next option, you can keep it here, hands on the knees, or you can start to bring it all the way down till we can touch the floor. This knee softens again, enough to keep our hand on the floor. This leg lengthens, and let's inhale back into that windmill. And let's exhale. We're going to switch sides. So soften the opposite knee, lengthen the other. Hand comes down, windmill, that arm up. And let's exhale. So while we have shoulder width distance apart, soften those knees. Let's bring our hands cupped into the arms, and we're going to release through the back, the head, the neck, the shoulders. And while we come to our breath, we can shake the head yes or no. We can look side to side. We're just moving through the neck here. Maybe gently just looking side to side. And then we're going to release the neck, the head. And just come back into that breath. And let's exhale. We're going to start to come back up into that flat back. Knees are still soft. Let's bring it back into that airplane, this time with shoulder width distance apart. Stretch the hands back behind us, palms face down. Reach through the fingertips. Also lengthening and reaching through the crown of our head, stabilizing in the feet. Coming to that breath, let's exhale. We're going to hinge up from the hips, arms come to the side. Let's inhale, lengthen all the way up and over. And exhale, palms together, hands to heart. I'm going to grab my belt. You can always grab a belt to tell whatever you would like to use for this. We are coming into warrior one, so bring one leg forward, soften that knee right above the ankle, step the other leg back. That leg lengthens and moves a little out to the side. Bring those hips back forward so that we're forward facing, and we're going to bring the belt into our hands, and starting off with shoulder width distance apart, we're going to lift all the way up and over. Nice deep breaths here. Tucking the abs in, lengthening through the torso, and grounding evenly through the feet as we focus on our breath. One more breath in our warrior one. As we exhale, we're going to twist to a revolving warrior. So we're twisting open to the same side as the bent knee and the leg. I'm going to keep the opposite to that leg, the opposite arm, upward. I'm going to allow that other arm to move down the belt and then lengthen and look over my shoulder. Or if the neck doesn't support this, you can look to the side and find a position that will help you balance. And as we exhale, we're coming back forward. I'm going to release the belt to one side or the other. I'm going to lengthen my front leg. I'm then going to pick up the back heel and press back down, so it's more of a pyramid pose. Then we're going to go ahead and have the hips forward facing. Let's inhale here, draw the hands back behind us, interlace the fingers or clasp them together. We are coming into pyramid. So let's inhale, lengthen through the heart, abs tuck in, hinge at the hips as we exhale, coming forward down towards that leg, keeping the flat back and then lifting the arms up off the back. Exhale, we're going to release the arms. So as we do, I still have flat back. I'm going to take opposite arm to that front leg and just bring it to the lateral side of it. And I'm going to take my other arm and bring it towards the other hip as we twist into our revolving triangle. Keep length in the back, stability in the feet. Not a lot of weight on either hand. Let's go ahead, exhale, bend that front knee again. Coming back forward facing, we're going to step it forward. I'm going to switch around here. Let's go ahead and inhale, lengthen up and over. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we're going to come into half back. And then we're going to exhale back into forward fold. Inhale again, half back. And exhale, soften the knees enough, tighten those glutes, open the arms. We're going to come all the way up and over. And exhale, palms together, hands to heart. Remember, we want the belt close to us because we are going to come to the other side now. So hip width distance apart, step one leg forward. As we step that leg forward, soften, bend the knee, toes point forward. Remember that the lengthened leg behind us is slightly open to that side, so the hips need to come back forward. If you have a belt, towel, let's grab a hold of it. Taking nice deep breaths, about shoulder width distance apart as we lengthen up. Tuck in the abs. Feel stable here. You're very strong. This is a strong warrior pose. We feel grounded in the feet. And we're just focusing on the breath as we lengthen the body. All right, remember, we're coming into that twist that's a little bit different. So I'm already going to start a revolving twist like we would for revolving warrior 2. And my opposite arm to the bent knee is up. I'm looking towards that bent leg side. I'm going to allow the other hand to glide down that belt. I'm going to try and look over the shoulder if it's appropriate for my body. So just check in with your body, your posture, your neck. If this doesn't work for you, you could always just bring the head to neutral and find a gazing point to help you balance. And let's gently start to release the belt. We want to come into our pyramid pose. So we're simply going to lift that heel bring it directly behind the balls of the feet and lengthen our front leg. If we need to bring the legs closer together, that's a good option. If we want more challenging, we bring the legs further apart. Let's go ahead and interlace the hands behind the back. Lift through the heart, tuck the abs in. We're going to hinge at the hips as we come forward and down into our pyramid. And then lift the arms up off the back, adding a chest expansion to this pyramid. Focusing on the breath as well as balance here. To release, we want to come into revolving triangle pose, so that opposite arm to the front leg is coming laterally to that front leg. I'm going to take the other arm back behind me, lower back, reaching for that opposite hip as I start to twist and open with my flat back, keeping balance and looking to the right. If this doesn't work for you, once again, you can look down for balance. Or I'm looking to the side. Let's exhale, start to soften, bend the knee, coming back forward. We're going to hinge forward. Let's inhale, lengthen the arms up and over. And exhale, release. Coming back to our mat, we are going to come into downward facing dog. So let's inhale, soften those knees, hip width distance apart, stabilize, bring it all the way up. And then we're going to exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Take a couple of deep breaths here in forward fold. And before we move into our downward facing dog, while our knees are soft and we're stretching those hamstrings, let's move into our gorilla pose by taking sole of foot to palm of hand. Hinging at the wrists is where the toes go. You're stepping on the palms of your hands. The knees can be bent as much as they need to be. As you breathe and release, you're lengthening through the legs. Focusing back on the breath, allowing the breath to relax those hamstrings, lengthening through the body. One more breath here. And as we slowly start to exhale, getting circulation back into our hands, keep those knees soft. Let's squeeze fists for a moment, and then walk our hands down into our downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and start to bicycle the legs. Allow the hips to move side to side. Allow the knees to soften, bend. Try and press the opposite foot into the ground. And just taking nice deep breaths as we move side to side. One more time. Take a nice deep breath. Let's start to move into our plank pose. Coming into plank, taking another breath. Let's stabilize here in our plank pose, whether we're on our knees or our forearms or both. And it's fine to come all the way down to the knees and come all the way down to the forearms. Let's go ahead and come back to our modified side pose. Bring the knee down underneath the hip. Let's start to bring that foot back. Keep the opposite leg lengthened and start to reach up for our side plank. Modified side plank, you want to add a challenge. Let's go ahead and bring that leg lengthening up. Dorsiflex the toes. let's exhale. We're going to bring it all the way back down. As we do, we're not moving our leg positions or our hand. Let's go ahead and inhale and bring that arm back up. Keep the leg stable. Exhale. Bring it back down to the mat. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, let's lengthen up. And exhale, release. As we release, shoulder width distance apart, let's twist on the knee so that the leg comes back behind us. Let's get ready for a three-legged dog. So the knee that's bent is going to lift and lengthen that leg upward. Take a nice deep breath. Start to exhale. Then inhale, lengthen through the leg, the bent knee. And let's exhale, bring that leg down. Coming back into our downward facing dog. Moving back into our plank pose. Opposite knee will bend as we come into our modified plank, right underneath the hip. Allow that knee to twist and the foot to come to your side. Allow the other leg to lengthen as we lift that other arm up for our modified plank pose. To add a challenge to this modified plank, we lift that leg. Extend through the heel, dorsiflex the foot. Focusing on the breath, as well as our body, lengthening, keeping those abs tight, lengthen through the vertebrae. Let's go ahead and exhale. We're going to release the foot. Remember, we're going to release that hand until it comes down to the mat underneath the shoulder. Then let's inhale and bring it back up. Exhale, twisting, bringing it back down. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale, coming back down. And inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, bring it back down. Allow the knee to twist. Remember, we're setting up for a three-legged downward facing dog. So the knee that is bent will be the leg that is lifting and lengthening. Take a nice deep breath. Start to exhale, bring it into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the leg. And let's exhale, slowly release that down to hip width distance apart. Taking a nice deep breath here. Let's start to move into our plank pose. Gently bring the knees down. Start to bring the forearms down to the ground. We want to come into our puppy pose. So puppy pose, we have shoulder, elbow alignment, forearms grounded here. Glutes are up in the air, hips and knees are stacked. Let's go ahead and exhale. Start to bring the head back between the arms. Let's start to bring the head back up from puppy pose. Allow shoulder or elbow to find alignment again. And let's start to elongate the knees back and slowly release down into the mat. We are coming into our Sphinx pose. So as we have hip width distance apart, allow the pelvis to ground into the floor. We're lifting through the heart, through the crown of the head. We roll the shoulders back, press the forearms down, fingertips point forward, bring that gaze forward as we squeeze the shoulders down away from the ears, going back. So we're squeezing towards the midline as well as down as we lengthen upward through the crown. Still finding our breath, letting the breath keep the body calm. And let's exhale. We're going to release down. As we release down, let's bring hands, palms facing down, stacking hand on top of hand, and the forehead right on top of the hands. Inhale, we're going to lift the arms, the forehead, and then we're going to exhale and release down. Inhale, lifting the upper torso with the arms, and exhale, release. Inhale again, lifting, and exhale, release. We're going to do the opposite for the low back now. So what I want you to do is bring fists for wrists, tuck them underneath the hips. As you make fists and you tuck them under the hips, roll the shoulders back, and then start to lengthen through the legs, lifting the legs as high as you can off the mat. Pointed toes for this, hip width distance apart. Still finding the breath as we lift. And let's exhale, slowly release back down. Releasing the hands here. If you'd like to move into baby cobra or cobra. Baby cobra, we lift up. Regular cobra, we're pressing into the palms of the hands, rolling the shoulders back, lifting through the heart, bringing the gaze forward. And let's exhale, mate all the way back down. Let's move to one side or the other. And as we move to the side, let's bend one knee. Soften, relax the other arm, either extending or you can support the head. It's up to you. As we find this position with bent knees, let's grab a hold of the top leg, ankle. So fingertips come around the ankle. We're going to dorsiflex that foot. Release the knee, leg back down close to the other. We're stretching our quad here. So hand can be on the ground once again or supporting the head. Take a nice deep breath. We're going to start to extend back so the heel comes towards the glute. Remember, we're lengthening through the joints, so shoulder to wrist is completely lengthened. Fingers wrap around the ankle. Couple of breaths as we stretch back, feeling that quad muscle lengthen. Trying to keep the leg close to the other leg so it isn't lifting up. Take another deep breath. Let's exhale. While we still have that ankle, we're going to now round the back, draw the knee in towards the chest. Nice deep breath here. And let's start with that movement. Drawing out as we inhale, lengthen back. As we exhale, let's bring knee to chest. As we inhale, we're lengthening back. As we exhale, knee to chest. And then we're simply going to release. We're going to move to the other side. So just rolling to the other side. Remember, having a bent leg to help support. Hand can be on the head or extended. That same arm to leg, grab a hold of the ankle, lengthen through. Find support. If the knee is lifted like mine, we're slowly releasing down to the other leg. I'm letting that shoulder roll back. Then I'm going to dorsiflex the foot. Still hanging on to the ankle. I'm going to draw the foot heel towards my glute and stretch back and take nice deep breaths here. And now we're going to start with the movement. So I'm going to inhale, stretch back, and as I exhale, let's allow the spine to round, draw that knee into the chest. Take a moment here, take another breath. And once again, as we inhale, let's lengthen back. As we exhale, we're going to bring knee to chest. As we inhale, lengthen away. As we exhale, let's bring knee to chest. Inhale, lengthening back and away. Let's exhale and start to release that leg. Rolling back to our abs. Here, let's bring the hands below the chest, right by the sides of the chest. Tuck the elbows in. Knees are bent. Let's inhale, press flat back and lift all the way up, pressing away from the floor. Let's move into a wide-legged extended child's pose. So the knees open, glutes come down to the heels, and we're going to stretch forward and down. Starting to come back up. We want to make our way back into our downward facing dog. So we can take a few lunges here. So let's find our handstand, start to lift the glutes, finding that hip width distance apart. Let's inhale, lengthen one leg up and back. Exhale, bend the knee and draw forward between the hands. Coming into that lunge. Let's lengthen through the leg. Option to release the knee. Keep the torso on the inside of that leg so we can lengthen and flatten the back. Let's go ahead and start to bring that leg back. Move back into our downward facing dog. Opposite leg, inhales, lengthens up. Exhale, bend the knee. Let's draw forward for our lunge pose. Having a low lunge here, once again, we're on the inside of that leg. Option to bend the knee and release is fine. Roll the shoulders back, flatten through the back. Focus on the breath in our low lunge. And let's start to release it back. Coming back into our downward facing dog. Inhale, opposite leg. Exhale, let's bend it forward, low lunge. This time in our low lunge, let's go ahead and release the knee. Let's walk the foot out for our lizard pose. So walk heel, toe, till both arms are in that plank position, and now your leg still stacks, knee ankle, and the toes point off to an angle. Nice deep breaths, trying to flatten the back and release the hips towards the floor. Let's take the arm that is closest to our lizard leg, that is bent knee, bring it on top of the knee, and then twist and open, looking to that side. And let's go ahead and exhale, bring it back. We're going to slowly come back and release that leg. Knees under the hips. Let's move into extended child's pose. Start to reach forward again. We're coming back into our downward facing dog. Opposite leg. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, let's bend the knee, draw forward. Coming back into our low lunge. Let's all meet with the knee coming down. Bring that hand to the inside of that leg. Let's heel toe into our lizard. So heel toe off to the side. We have that ankle. Our knee still aligns with our ankle. Palms in front of us underneath the shoulders. We're allowing the hips to sink towards the mat as best we can in this lengthened position. Focusing on that deep breath as it moves through the body. Now to add a little bit of a twist to this, let's bring our hand closest to that bent knee, lengthen, and we're just going to stretch and look over. Let's exhale, start to release forward down. And gently start to soften, bend the opposite knee. Let's lengthen it back. We all want to meet in our extended child's pose. So glutes start coming to the heels. We're extending forward, releasing the head. As we release and relax the head, we are going to move into an extension. So let's go ahead and extend. Let's bring the gaze up, keep the glutes and heels right where they're at, and just walk the hands extending to one side. Start to release. We want to walk the hands, keep the back lengthened and flat as we walk all the way over to the opposite side to extend. Start to come forward. So as we come forward here, still glutes to heels, we want to come into our rabbit's pose today. So we have a few options with rabbit's pose. I'm thinking even to bring the belt possibly into some options here. So usually we have, if you have a mat, I call them rabbit ears. You're close to the end of your mat and you're going to grab the two corners of the mat. And as we move forward down, you're hanging out to the corners of the mat. So as we round and bring the crown of the head down and lift the glutes, we're hanging on. If you do not have the rabbit ears, the mat, maybe a belt around the heels, or because we're trying to hang on to the heels. So a belt around the heels, close to the heels, or hanging on to the heels, same thing. And once the crown of the head is on the ground, we're going to lift the glutes. Releasing out of rabbit as we start to come up. Just make sure that you are careful with your neck as we did that pose. So some of us may not do that pose. That's fine. You could just come into a child's pose. Let's come all the way to the ground. As we come all the way to the ground, you're welcome to come to easy cross-legged style, or maybe our soles of the feet are making the diamond shape, or we have more of an open leg. Finding the hinge in our knees, whichever position we are in, finding the length in our back. So maybe we need padding underneath the glutes that will help us lift up and relax the knees. Let's take a nice deep breath as we inhale. We're going to exhale and start to move back into our cat pose, chin into chest. Let the spine round, navel tucks in. You're rounding all the way through the pelvis. We're going to move to one side as we bring heart center to a knee. Moving forward, expanding through the chest, the heart as we move to the other knee. And then let's exhale, round it back. Remember, we're moving with our breath. So if you're slower, even better. Taking our time, moving in this big circle. Exhale, let's round it back. One more time. Inhale as we move forward towards the knees, sweeping forward to the other knee. And exhale as we move back. We're going to move the opposite direction. So moving to the other way. Inhale as we come to the knee, roll the shoulders back, heart forward, sweeping to the opposite knee. And let's exhale, round it back. Inhale to the knee, rolling the shoulders back, expanding through the heart. Exhale, rounding it back. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. Lengthening back up. We're going to come all the way to our backs. We are coming down to the floor, so remember all the things you need for Shavasana. Maybe we need a pen and paper to allow our thoughts to flow and write important things down. Remember the cushions, anything that we might need. Let's go ahead and round the back, coming all the way back. Open up through the arms. Let's find our tabletop with our legs. And exhale to one side, keeping the arms and shoulders grounded. You always have an option to take that hand that's closest to the legs and allow it to rest or start to press down towards the ground. Another option is looking over that opposite shoulder. Refocusing on our breath as we start to relax the body. Letting the breath fill through the body, finding any tightness, and moving into that space to relax as we exhale and let go of that tight tension. One more breath here. We're going to exhale, move the head back to neutral, release the hand. Start to draw knees into chest, round the back. Moving back to center, let's give ourselves a hug, squeeze knees into chest, and rock left and right. Coming back up to our tabletop, let's open the arms again. Take a nice deep breath, let's tighten the abs, pressing down into the floor with the back. As we find our tabletop, moving to the opposite side, twisting, keeping the shoulders grounded. Taking that hand as an option, you can bring it on top of the leg and allow it to ground. Another option is to look over the opposite shoulder. Allowing us to focus on the breath as we relax the body, letting go of any tight space, using our breath to release the tension, releasing stress, and even starting to release any worries of the mind. Start to let go here. Tightening those abs again, squeeze knees towards the chest, round the back till we come to center, giving yourself a good squeeze here in center as we gently rock left and right. Let's slowly start to move into our Shavasana. Remember to get comfortable. Make sure you are completely comfortable during meditation, so we'll keep coming back. So let's extend through the legs. If we need pillows or anything, we could put them underneath the knees to help the low back. Even a chair is fine to bring the legs up on top of the chair to allow the low back to press into the mat. Allow the legs to be relaxed here. Allow the arms to be relaxed, the torso. And let's just focus on the breath here for a moment. As we focus on the breath, we're allowing those thoughts to move through our mind like floating clouds as they slowly start to dissipate and our mind starts to become more clear. And as we clear the mind here, relaxing into our breath. We're going to come to our silent mantra, Sido Hum. My true nature is perfect and complete. Sido Hum. My true nature is perfect and complete. Sido Hum. Sido Hum. Keeping focused on these words with our breath. Releasing our silent mantra, Sido Hum. As we relax the mind, as we relax the body, knowing our breath as it moves through the body. Today we meditate about soft power and how kindness, respect, curiosity, and love in our heart is a more powerful force of good than the hard power we see around us. Most of us have learned that to be powerful and succeed, we need to use force, intimidation, dominance. But this hard power is always based on temporary advantages. Therefore, it hides fear underneath it. Soft power, on the other hand, comes from an ever-present awareness of our being that supports and connects us all. From this place of understanding, compassion, and receptivity, we can remain in our strength and empowerment while we find common ground, mutually agreeable solutions to life's conflicts and challenges. Self-power lies so close to home that it is the very essence of who we are. Our greatest strength does not lie in exerting power over others. It lies with the presence of pure being. In being, there is zero force and infinite love. When you experience your being, you exist in intimate communion with yourself, from which anything can happen, and all possibilities are open. This soft power can change the world. My strength lies in my being. My strength lies in my being. Slowly allowing us to reawaken, bringing movement back to our body. Taking a moment, allowing the movement, finding the breath deepen for a moment, and maybe even taking a moment to stretch and contract. Lengthening, stretching. And when we are ready, we can move to our left side in our fetal position. And here we have a quote by St. Francis de Sales. Nothing is so strong as gentleness. Nothing so gentle as real strength. And as we have that in mind, we can push away from our mat, away from the ground, using arm strength. And as we come back up, thank you for joining me for yoga today. Namaste. And have a wonderful day.